Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the REDX podcast. I'm your host, Haley Johnson. Happy Friday, everyone. We have a very exciting guest with us today. We're going to get into a lot of important topics today that will help you in your business. And so, hi, Chadi. Welcome.
Hi, Haley. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're happy to have you today. Just a couple of announcements before we get started here. We do want this to be a participatory event. So wherever you're watching this, if you're watching this on our Facebook page, our website, Chadi's Facebook, or anything, if you just pipe in your questions for Chadi today, we can relay those over and get those answered for you. And if you're here, just go ahead, comment where you're from, where your market is, and we'll get this show on the road. Awesome. Okay, cool. So one quick announcement is for the last few months now, we've been having 3 podcasts a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And starting next week, we will be going down to 1 podcast a week on Thursdays. And that will just be so that we can create more content out of these podcasts and have a more quality show. So make sure to mark your calendars for Thursday. It'll still be at the same time, 1:30 Mountain Time. But we're excited for the future of the podcast and what that's going to mean for us. So thanks everybody for being so loyal and watching. It's been awesome, and we're excited to keep going. So, okay, Chadi, let's get started. Let's talk about some awesome things for agents to help them create opportunity. So, first thing I wanna ask you that I've seen on your podcast and things that you've talked about is the number one reason why agents fail. And I think our audience is full of new agents, solo agents, things like that. So I want to talk about what causes an agent to fail and why maybe they're not seeing the results that they want to. Let's start there. I know that might be a big question, but.
Yeah, that's like 3 questions wrapped up into one. So we're going to give you like multiple answers.
Right.
Yeah. So look, I think it's a combination of a couple of things. I've worked with agents from all over the country, and after having been on over 30,000 one-on-one coaching calls, agents will fall into one of a few different categories as to why they fail. Number one, in my very strong opinion, is the lack of desire to succeed. It's the lack of desire, the lack of clarity, because here's the thing: when you're clear on an outcome that you want, you will figure out a way. And if you got that mentality of like, I'm going to do whatever it takes, I'm going to figure out how to do this, there's enough knowledge on your podcast, on my podcast, social media, your marketplace to give you the knowledge required to make it work. But the lack of desire just, turns into, fear. And then, fear just cripples you and stops you from taking action. And now there's the second category, the people that, do have that desire and they do want to figure it out. And for that person, we always point to one direction, and that direction is, how good are your skills? See, we are in a people business. This whole entire real estate business is nothing more than a conversation. If you know how to have the conversation, you'll put yourself in a position to have the conversations. And the better you are at having a conversation, the better results you will produce. And that is like, there's no fear, there's no hesitancy, and there's just like action without even knowing that you are in action.
Wow. Well, I'm fired up already, and it's like a minute in. So this is awesome. Okay, so I want to talk about the desire first. Because people come into the business because they want to be successful, they want to make money, right? But you're saying that the number one issue is is it because they don't have enough desire or strong enough desire?
Well, here's the thing. If we talk about clarity, we can't say that people really don't have clarity. It's just like, which direction is that clarity moving to? And I think everybody's clear on everything that they don't want, but nobody ever gives any attention to becoming more clear on what it is they want. So one of the things that I do with my clients is, rather than get into the conversation of what do you want, look, everybody is going to say, I want the same thing. I want a Ferrari, I want, to travel. I want time, money, freedom, etc. Everybody wants that, but not everybody got that. So the first thing I do, I'll be like, let's make a list of everything that you no longer want, everything that you no longer want to tolerate. So because that's going to give us clarity on what it is that you really truly desire most, which is the opposite of the things that you're sick and tired of experiencing.
Right.
So that way we're not focused on the Ferrari, we're focused on, the things that really have meaning to you, the things that you are connected to emotionally. And emotion is the driving factor in everything that we do. And if we really want to talk about like human psychology, we all make decisions and take actions either to avoid a painful situation or to move towards a pleasurable experience. And if we take the whole entire population as a whole, 75% of the people are like moving away from pain, yet everybody's focused on the pleasure, but the pleasure ain't moving you because you're moving away from person. So you got to understand your own psychology to, play with your own emotions to put you in the better position to produce the better odds.
Okay. So you're saying focus on the things that you want to move away from, like an small income, something that doesn't provide for your family or something.
Like step number one is getting clear on all the things. Like, if I say to you, Haley, let's make a list of all the things that you no longer want in the area of your finances, in the area of your relationships, in the area of, your business, in the area of your physical well-being, in the area of your spirituality, etc. So now we got a list of like, these are all the things that are holding me back. Now let's take a look on the opposite side. What do I want? And now we do encounter a problem when we begin to talk about the opposite of what we do want, because everybody wants to go from like level 0 to level 10. Okay. That's a huge gap. The earth is so far away from the moon, like if you can't figure out how you're going to get there, you're never, ever going to attempt to get there. So then we make that list anyways. And then we go through that list and we say, okay, is it okay if you don't get the Ferrari? The moment you say, yeah, it's okay, I'll be like, okay, let's scratch it off. Because if it's okay for you to not get it, then it's going to be okay for you to not take the action to get it. And you don't got to have a list of 10 items. Hey, it could be just one thing. So we're always looking for like, what is it? 1, 2, or 3 things that are going to rip you out of bed every single morning and get you into action.
And I've heard you say, like, if you were to ask one of your clients, like, what do you want? And they say like a Ferrari, then you ask why. And then they tell you why. And then you keep asking the question why until you get to the core reason as to why they're here and what they want, right?
That's exactly right.
And I've heard people like, go ahead.
Yeah, you want to try to go as deep as you possibly can. Like everybody, like, when they do goal setting, they go wide. Like, I want this. That's going wide. Okay, so we select the item, you want to go deep. Okay, why do you earn $100,000? Okay, why do you want the things that you said you want? Like, what will that do? Ultimately, what will that do? Okay, and you want to go as deep as you possibly can. And if you can't go deep enough, then you ain't going to do enough to get it.
So you think when people get into the business, or no matter how long they've been in the business, really, if they don't have a solid reason why they're there, you don't think that they'll last?
Well, history and statistics show us that, the lifespan of an average real estate agent is about 18 months in and out of the business.
Right.
And then, everybody points the finger at somebody else as to why they really failed. And, that's another problem that we have in this industry, in all industry. It's the words, personal responsibility. We got to take responsibility for where we are at and where we want to go. We can't keep pointing fingers because, with technology and, all the information that we have right now, we really have the answers to everything. But, do you have the desire to go out there and look for the answer?
Yeah, I think a lot of agents want to take the easy way out and find easy solutions to the problems that they have or whatever. And so I like that you say personal responsibility, because the person that's going to be in control of whether or not you make 6 figures or not is yourself. And if you blame everything else and make excuses as to why something isn't working for you, it's because it's you. You have to put it to work, right?
I am responsible for everything. I'm responsible for how I feel. I'm responsible for how I live. I'm responsible for the wealth. I'm responsible for, the mishaps, the misfortune. I'm responsible for everything. Because when you take responsibility, you can always reverse engineer what are some of the things that you either thought or you took action on that didn't work. And then you can tweak them, and then you can take a different detour and get yourself out of this situation. But until you take personal responsibility, it's going to be the same song and dance over and over and over again. It's going to be you looking for the next shiny object. It looks exciting. I want to get it. You try it for a day, and then another shiny object, or it doesn't work right away. And then, you're going through the same exact vicious cycle.
Interesting. Yeah. It's like finding something and never really being happy because there's something that is always wrong or blaming everything. So I really like that personal responsibility and finding.
I like what you just said. You mentioned a very important word, and that word is happy. Finding something that makes me happy. And what a lot of people don't really understand is the key to success has nothing to do with the things that you are doing. The key to success has everything to do with how you are feeling while you are doing it. So I think everyone that's watching this podcast or listening to this or however they're getting this content should write down a question. And the question is, what makes me happy? What makes me happy? And then a lot of people are going to write down all the things that are eventually going to make them happy. That's good. But take it a step further. What makes you happy now for no reason other than you're choosing to be happy? Haley, when I go out, when I talk to somebody, everyone begins the conversation with the question, how are you? My response is always the same. I'm happy. And then when people hear that, they're totally like tripped, like they've never heard anyone just say, I'm happy. But see, the thing is, if you really understand psychology, when I tell you I'm happy, it's forcing me to act as if I'm happy, whether I am or not. And all of a sudden, I'm happy.
Like saying it out loud makes it true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I hear a lot of success with affirmations as well. Just saying, I am strong, I am important, things like that actually tell your mind that they're true, like you said.
Well, you can take a look at it this way and say, hey, every liar eventually believes their lies. So lie your way to success. If you tell yourself every single day, I'm a great salesperson. Eventually you're going to wake up one day. Obviously it's going to cause you to take specific actions that you're not taking and stuff like that. But what if you bought into that lie? What if you bought into the lie that you are good enough, that you are a wonderful human being, that you are a person of contribution? Then all of a sudden it's a being choice that you've made, and you begin to walk as if you are already that person.
Right. That's awesome. And does that all fit underneath clarity? Like you said?
Yeah, that fits underneath, the big major pillar, because, clarity is everything. Because see, if we were to move into words, okay, clarity will move us into the word certainty. It's like if you're certain beyond the shadow of a doubt that you are going to accomplish a specific something, you will act differently towards the accomplishment of that one something. But if you don't have that certainty, then it simply means that you don't have the belief. And if we really think about it, what is the difference between an average person and an above average person? Well, the average person believes he or she is average, therefore they act accordingly. The above average person believes they are above average, therefore they act accordingly. So the key word is belief. What do you believe to be true about you? And then, a lot of people are like, well, I want to get to that place of belief. How do I get, myself to believe in me, to believe in my product, to believe in my service, to believe in the people, to believe in these things? Well, it begins with a specific action that you got to take every single day. And I think affirmations and visualization are two things that will speed up the process for you to get that belief. And can I recommend a book on that? There's one book that like 100% of my clients read immediately when they come to work with me. And the book is called The Magic of Believing by Claude Bristol. I think everyone should go order a copy today. Read that book once a month for the next 3 months, and let 2021 be the year that the floodgates of abundance open up for you.
That's amazing. And we'll post the link to that book. There we go. We put it in the chats. So you said affirmations and visualization. So to acquire this belief, that's what you do, is you do affirmations and that's a tongue twister. Visualizations. Yeah. Awesome. So like give us an example of like a visualization that you have that I know you have an amazing painting behind you of a lion and half human, but like what specific things that agents can do, like morning routines or things like that?
Yeah. So look, I'll wrap it up into an exercise. Like, for those that are watching this video inside my Top Listing Agent Facebook group, I will challenge you to go in there and just click the photo section, and you're going to see one gentleman that did this exercise that I gave him every single day, 7 days a week, never a sick day, never a holiday off, did this one exercise that I'm about to share with you right now. In over 2 years, meaning over 700 pictures of the same exercise that he does every single day. He will never stop doing that exercise because that exercise took him in 1 year from having $3.16 in his bank account to making 6 figures using REDX, by the way. Okay. And that exercise is a daily journaling process that you do like minutes before you begin to do your visualization. It's a 5-step quick process that takes anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes maximum. Can I walk everyone through that real quickly?
Please.
Okay, so it's 5 questions, same 5 questions that you answer every single day. Question number 1 is, what made me happy in the last 24 hours? Man, look what we're doing. Like in the morning when people are waking up and saying, I'm tired, I want to sleep, I don't want to work with this crazy seller or crazy buyer. You're taking your mind to a place of happiness. That's taking personal responsibility and setting up the mind in the right direction. So that's question number 1. Question number 2 is, what are 2 things that I am grateful for? 2 things. And I challenge you to not be grateful for the same thing more than 1 time inside the month, because I want to stretch your mind. I am grateful that my neighbors were very loud last night because I could hear. Like, do you see we're going beyond the normal way of thinking. So you write down 2 things that you're grateful for. And then number 3, you write down your top 3 goals, the same 3 goals every single day until they become a reality. Now, why do we want to do that? We want to do that for a couple of different reasons. Number 1, Brian Tracy said to us that the moment you write your goal in writing, you increase your odds of achieving that goal by 1,000%. So we're increasing our odds of achieving that goal by 1,000% every single day. Number 2, we're activating our reticular activating system to see the opportunities that exist around us all day, every single day, by removing the filters that block us from seeing those opportunities. Number 4, you write down 4 affirmations, the same 4 affirmations that you want to buy into. You write them down, okay? And then number 5, you write down your income goal 5 times as if you've already achieved it. For example, I attract and generate $50,000 or more this month. Like, you write that down 5 times every single day. I mean, how could you not be into that if you do that every single day? So the challenge I have for everyone is, do this for 30 days. Like, some people are like woo-woo, crazy, etc. What if I'm right and you're wrong? I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying you're wrong. But what if this is the one thing that can totally take you to the next level? Let's find out in the next 30 days.
Yeah, I love that, actually. So in our marketing department here at REDX, every single morning we have a meeting, and we share good news the first 15 minutes of the meeting. And the psychology behind that is to be thinking about the good things that have happened in the last 24 hours to share with everyone. And so then your mind is already in a good place when you have a full work day ahead of you. It sets you up for success for the rest of the day. And it's just a few minutes. Like these questions, the things that you're writing down, don't take a lot of time, but the effect it will have is so much greater than it would take just to maybe wake up a little bit earlier to do this, or right. And here's the thing, Haley, if you do this, every single day, there's always going to be that day to where it's like you're feeling yucky and not so good, and like you lose hope, you lose motivation, etc. That would be the perfect moment to just open up your journal and take a look at everything that made you happy over the course of the last 30 days and be like, my life is freaking damn good. What am I complaining about? Yeah, that really can shift your mindset and help you remember what's important. I like that you writing down the same 3 goals until it's real. Because I think we all set New Year's resolutions, right? And a lot of them sometimes don't happen, like going to the gym every day or whatever. But if you are holding yourself accountable almost by just writing them down every single day, because you're like, this is what I want, no matter how big the goal, until it comes true, then if you're seeing that every day, like you said, it increases the odds of it happening, and will obviously dictate the things that you do throughout the day, right?
Right. Right.
That's
Now, you mentioned another word, holding yourself accountable. Okay. Which is like, again, we go back to personal responsibility, and you got to be real here. Sometimes that is one of the most difficult things to do because we've already developed a psyche where we really don't trust ourselves because we always say we're going to do something and we don't do it. For some of us, we need to reach out to somebody and say, hey, will you hold me accountable? And that person's got to be a person that's not going to buy into your BS. And to eliminate that, what you can do is you can put your money where your mouth is by saying, hey, if I don't do this, then I am going to do that. Can I give you an example? Okay. We're recording this right now inside of the fourth quarter. Look, I'm human and I'm disciplined and I'm driven and I'm focused and I'm energetic and I'm a doer, but I'm human. And I know during the fourth quarter, I want to have the cookies. I want to go to the party. I want to take the time off. Like, I know that about me. So I have like 25 members right now inside of my listings on demand training. I went in there and I said, during the fourth quarter, I am going to work out that many days and I'll post a picture every time I go. I am going to record 24 podcasts inside of the fourth quarter and release the videos. I am going to read 12 books, one a week, and here's the pictures of the books that I'm going to read. And I said, if I miss one item, just one item, I will give every single one of you guys $1,000 each. Do you think I'm going to miss any
Right.
items? Heck no.
That's awesome.
I put myself in I'm eliminating my options.
I like that. And you're aware of yourself too. The awareness that I struggle during this time. And so I'm going to do this to make sure that these things happen because they're important to me. And I mean, I think everyone's guilty of that. Like even towards like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, the end of the workday, I'm like, I'm done. I want to go home and I just want to like sleep. But there's so many things that I could be doing that will make me feel so much better. And so just telling somebody that will keep you accountable, especially if you put money on it, that will make sure that you're doing what you're doing, and it will inspire you to make sure that you're not going to let people down right? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like another thing that I wrote down here when you said like do this challenge for 30 days or for how long it is. It sounds like consistency is really important because if you're doing something every single day, I mean, I wish that I could be consistent with going to the gym, right? But I'm not, and I want to be. So what can help that consistency and help people when they do have that bad day because they're coming and they always do.
Yeah. So look, that's like, we go back to, again, clarity. We go back to your morning ritual. What is it that you're doing every single day to prime your mind, prime your body, and connect the mind to the emotion, etc. It goes back to that. And, if you think about like all the gurus out there, whether it's a Tony Robbins or whoever it might be, Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, all the greats out there, they all preach, under different words, either, hour of power, morning routine, morning ritual, etc. You're a product of your rituals. So, that's why I say, hey, 30-day challenge and doing this, you're going to find yourself taking a lot more action and doing a lot more things that you're not accustomed to doing very consistently. And then get yourself some accountability. Get involved in a mastermind, hire a mentor. Sometimes hiring a mentor is great accountability because you're putting your money where your mouth is.
I like that.
So I think that would help a great deal. And the more accountability you have in place, the more you're going to get done.
Yeah, you're a product of your rituals, and something as cool as something like 2 minutes, 3 minutes in the morning turns into something amazing. So you just have to take that time. That's awesome. So, and I kind of want to talk to something else that a lot of our customers and agents have problems with that I want to get into, and that is just fear of, and I know you mentioned it a little bit, but they have a fear of getting on the phone. Prospecting. It's a scary thing, talking to strangers, or just fear of really anything in the real estate business. They want to overcome this call reluctance, this thing that's holding them back. What would you say to people that are afraid of those things?
Yeah. So I would say, be afraid of going broke. Okay, so but and Haley, look, a lot of what we talk about is really common sense, but common sense is not common practice. Everybody's looking for the new thing. It's not a new thing. It's an old thing that you got to make the thing to do every single day to get you out of that. Now, I understand, the fear of rejection. Like, in my trainings, I tell my clients, fear of rejection. Okay, so let's put two agents into this category. Agent number one calls up an expired, and an expired does not set an appointment with them because of an objection they gave them that they couldn't overcome. And that agent A says rejection. Agent B calls up the same expired and sets an appointment. Well, that was not rejection. The difference between the two is one has the skill and one doesn't. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. If you don't got the skill, then you got the fear. If you got the skill, then you got the power. Okay? So for everyone that's got that fear, number one, acquire the skill. Look, I got a woman I'm working with right now. I mean, she's like blowing up her business right now. She's getting like 80 deals this year. The majority of them are expired listings. And it's like all we focus on is like, how do I have better conversations? How do I have better conversations? And that takes away all the fear. But if we can take it a step further, why is there fear? Like, why is there fear? Okay, because of a story that you made up in your mind. Is it really as hard as you're making it out to be in your mind? It's not. I have another woman I'm working with. She's never called a for sale by owner in her life. I said, okay, that's fine. We're not going to call 20 like everybody says, call 20 a day. I said, can we just call one together? And she's like, sure. And I was like, here's a little mini script, like just a couple of lines, not like a big fully loaded script. And we got on a Zoom call, and I kid you not, Haley, we only made 2 contacts that day. The first contact was someone that says, hey, I've already sold my house. We're ready to close, already bought another house. She said, congratulations, good luck, win on. I was like, was that difficult? She goes, no, he was nice. We made another contact, a very nice old gentleman here in like Newport Beach, California. And guess what? She got the appointment. She didn't get the listing. That's okay. But does she now have any more fear of making phone calls? Absolutely not. So you gotta take that first action. If you can't get yourself to take that first action, then what you need to do is find someone who will hold your hand either virtually or in person just to make the first contact. And 99% of the time, that experience is going to be totally the opposite of what you made it out to be in your mind. You got to put yourself out there no matter what. And I know people that were crippled with fear, and now millions of dollars later, they were like, I can't believe I wasted so much time and, spent so much time in fear and all that crazy stuff. Just learn what to say, when to say it, and how to say it, and the fear will disappear.
So what I'm hearing from you, and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, anything if I were to ask you about a problem that an agent faces, let's say it's the low inventory market right now, or they don't have enough leads, or like whatever problem that they're having, it sounds like it all comes back to the brain, the mindset, the belief that they have. And that if that's not set right, and if that is not correct, then everything else will struggle in the business. Is that?
No, you're right. Again, yeah, two words that I speak like a ton about. Like I'm sick and tired of talking about these 2 words. Is again personal responsibility. If you're complaining about a lack of leads, if you're complaining about a lack of inventory, there's someone in your office or in your marketplace that's saying, "My God, what a freaking damn great market." What is the difference between that person and you? They're thinking different thoughts and they're taking different actions and they're producing different results. Personal responsibility. When you catch yourself having that negative conversation with yourself, just slap yourself across the forehead and say, stop it. What else can I think to better support my mind? What else can I do that I'm not doing to take this to the next level? Or what are the successful agents in my marketplace? What are they doing that I'm not doing? I take it a step further. How are they dressing? How are they walking? How are they talking? What are they reading? What are they eating? Who are they calling? Who are they prospecting? Who they're doing business with? Like if you sit down and, like take a look at like the 2 agents in your marketplace that are doing these things, you got the answer. And then it's a matter of taking action. Okay. And then look, we talked about your morning ritual, having that clarity, having a belief system is what's going to give you the confidence to take the action.
I love this. This is your C4 method, the clarity, certainty, confidence, and then commissions, right? All of this leads to really what we're here for is a paycheck to achieve our goals and things like that. So I love that. That's such a good mindset to have. And I just love this personal responsibility because I mean, I heard from another agent that was like, well, if I'm not getting out there and talking to people, some other agent is. And some other agent is looking at this as an opportunity while I'm sitting here thinking that this is a roadblock, right? It's all in the brain.
Haley, I got a gentleman I'm working with out of San Diego, and in September last month, he closed almost $200,000 worth of commissions. And when I take a look at that guy and I'll be like, what is he doing? Well, he's waking up early every single day. He's working out every single day. He's journaling every single day. He's practicing what to say, when to say it, how to say it every single day. And he's having fun on the phones for 2 to 3 hours every single day. And it's $200,000 a month. The guy makes it look so freaking damn simple. Look, maybe you don't want to make $200,000 in a month, but if you follow exactly what he's doing, you will make more money than you're making right now. You either want or you don't. I live in a black and white world. I'm either committed or I'm not. I'm either yes or I'm no. I'm not a maybe. I'm not a, one day kind of thing. It's like, what am I going to do today to just move myself just 1% closer?
I like that. And I think that's important because when you set these huge goals, whenever you do set them and you see how big they are, that can get overwhelming and even end up, maybe people leave the business because they don't think that they can achieve those big goals. But if you focus on just the next day, the next call, the next couple of minutes, and focus on becoming better in that time, then over time you will get there. It just takes patience and time. It's unrealistic expectations, almost.
Well, it is unrealistic expectations. And I was talking to my clients earlier this week, and I said, look, I've had some of the greatest mentors in the world. Okay. And, I think one of the greatest mentors I've ever had was, a gentleman by the name of Mike Ferry, because I got to work, side by side for his company for approximately 4 years. And one of my biggest takeaways from his conversation was, Chadi, everything that you want to accomplish is going to take a little bit longer than you want it to. And some people hear that it's going to take longer, but the key words is a little bit. Just a little bit longer. There's no such thing as an unrealistic goal. There's just an unrealistic deadline.
Oh, I really like that. Not an unrealistic goal, an unrealistic deadline. Yeah, because I mean, so how do you set those deadlines? Do you give yourself or do you set them at all?
I do. I mean, we all do say like by the end of this year. So by nature, by default, you set a deadline. But see, I don't focus on the deadline, and I do focus on the goal. But the most important thing I focus on is am I doing the activity? Look, at the end of the day, like somebody might be like making, 20, 30, 40 contacts a day. And in the back of their mind, they want to set an appointment every single day. And they make their 30, 40 contacts and they did not set the appointment that day. And they'd be like, what a lousy day. For me, I don't gauge things based on the result. I base everything on the effort. Did I do what I was supposed to do? Did I give it all I was supposed to give it? And if I did, then that was a freaking damn good day because I planted the right seeds that are going to bloom sooner than later. And talking about that, Haley, I know in the C4 method, we talk about the final C is the commission, but we really don't focus on the commission. We focus on the fifth C that I didn't talk about inside of the C4 method, and that is contribution. That is contribution. When we go on a listing presentation, we're not going there to take the listing. We are going there to help that person make the decision that is right for them and their family. Okay, that's all we're doing. And in almost all cases, the right decision is something that's outside of their comfort zone, and they're going to do everything they possibly can to stay inside of their comfort zone. But if I'm coming from a place of contribution, and I understand human psychology, and I know how to get them to feel good in my presence, I know how to get them to like me and trust me and respect me and see me as the expert, then they are going to follow my lead. So rather than focus on the listing and the commission, focus on being a person of contribution. Look, if you are a person of contribution, if you're a sincere person, if you're an honest person, if you're a genuine person, how can someone reject that which everyone is seeking?
Right.
It's all like, all I do is flip the switch for these people, and then it's like, this business is freaking damn easy.
And like you said, being a genuine person, something we talk about sometimes here is commission breath. That if you go to a listing presentation or whatever, and you're just in the business for the money and not really there to help or coming from a good place, then they're gonna feel that. And that's real estate is gonna seem a lot harder than it has to if that's all that you're focusing on, right?
Yeah. And you know what? You got to lead by example. Like, for example, if you were to visit my website, chadibazzi.com, go there and try to buy something. There's nothing for sale. 100% of everything there is to help you become the better version of yourself. And if I give you enough value, sooner than later, you're going to send me a message saying, hey, what is the next step? And then I've earned the right to do business with you.
That feels like very fulfilling and very like that you're making the world a better place, because a lot of people need a purpose and need a why. Otherwise, like we talked about before, then they're not going to be in the business for very long if that's all they're in it for. So to have that purpose, then I think, then like you said, it's fun. It makes it easier, and that's your career, is being in with people, right?
So it's like, when you have that clarity, you will have that purpose. Like, when people say, who are you to the world? And I say, who I am to the world is who I want the world to be to my children. That's it. That's it. How do I want people to interact with my children is how I am going to interact and treat people.
Wow. That's awesome. That's a good lens to look at it through. That's cool. Well, Chadi, we're almost out of time here, but I've loved this conversation. It has been really eye-opening for me, and some of the things that I loved is effort over result, right? And focusing on the activity or the actions, because that's what's going to get you results. Even though you're not focused on the results, that's what's going to get you there. That's really cool. And in the final minutes, I want to give you the last word and to ask, do you have anything else that you didn't touch on yet, or something that you really want to stress? I'd love to get your last advice here.
Yeah, so I'll give you a couple. One is I want you to, adopt the mentality that it's easy. It's really easier to accomplish the things that you want than you make it out to be, because there's people in your marketplace that make it look like stupid easy, and it really can be that easy when you know how. And if I were to give one last tip, it would be, again, I'm all about strategy. It's not just about action. I'm like, how can I take the smallest action and create the biggest result? And it's all human psychology. And for me, the most important thing that I can do with anybody is to listen to them. Look, your listening is the foundation to all your powers of influence. What is the world craving right now? What is the human craving more than anything right now? They're craving acknowledgement. The best way to acknowledge them is to give them your ear and some eye contact. I tell my clients, listen with your eyes and hear with your ears. Because if someone has accepted you that way, they become addicted to that drug that makes them feel good. And that drug is your attention.
I love it. That's perfect. I think that's a great thing to end on. You've taught us a lot of things about our brains and psychology and personal responsibility. And so I'm excited to take some of these things into my own career, in my own life, to make life a little easier is what it sounds like. So why not try? That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Chadi, for coming onto the podcast and helping agents create more stability and opportunity in their own lives and their own businesses. We'll definitely have to have you on again. This has been such a great conversation. To our audience, thank you so much for tuning in. If we didn't get to all of your questions, we can definitely continue the conversations in two places. One, we have a Facebook group, our REDX Elite Prospectors group that you can join. And if you're a customer, you can get on our REDX forum, forum.redx.com, and we can chat there. Again, we are going down to one episode a week. However, we have two next week, actually. We have one on Monday and Thursday, same time, 1:30. So thank you, everybody, again, for coming. Chadi, thank you for being here. And we will see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.